How's it going, guys? Back with another TLO Live. Today is January 4th of 2023. So today I wanted to start off doing something a little bit different. Every once in a while, I want to start off my streams highlighting like a Last of Us news or big stories that happen, and maybe cover other things that might be going on in the Last of Us community. I was thinking of maybe eventually incorporating more of the Last of Us Reddit into my streams. I do go to Last of Us Reddit quite often. But anyway, for today, I want to just talk about or read this article or blog, I guess you could call it, from Neil Druckmann, who posted on Naughty Dog's website here. So it's titled "The Last of Us: Looking Ahead to a Milestone Year." Reflecting on a big year to come for The Last of Us. Ahead of a milestone year, The Last of Us Naughty Dogs, Neil Druckmann speaks to the franchise's 10th anniversary. Right, because the original Last of Us came out in 2013. The Last of Us fans, a very happy new year to all our players. Uh, we here at Naughty Dog couldn't be more excited to jump into 2023 as it marks an important milestone for the Last of Us franchise. The Last of Us turns 10 this coming June, and though the decade feels like it flew by, we have treasured every moment of your support and love for the series since it debuted. And by the way, this is the first time I'm reading this. The beautiful fan art, the incredibly detailed cosplay, the letters of support about these games have meant to you, and everything else that has wait have meant to you, and everything else that has poured in over this last decade. Thank you. Thank you for supporting this story our studio believes in so deeply. Our team would our team could never have imagined over a decade ago that the kernel of what was The Last of Us would have such a profound impact on our lives and the lives of so many of you out there. We are so proud to share that the entire The Last of Us franchise has sold through more than 37 million copies globally as of December 2022. And is continuing to reach new and old players every day. To know that Joel, Ellie, and our whole cast of characters have been experienced and loved by so many of you drives the entire studio forward. Even as it turns 10 years old, it feels like The Last of Us has only begun and has only just begun, and this is a busy year. It will certainly show why. After The Last of Us Part 1's successful launch on the PlayStation 5 last year, we can't wait to bring you the PC version on March 3rd. We'll have more information on the PC version features and specs ahead of its launch. We're looking ahead to The Last of Us 10th anniversary in June, and we're so excited to share more with you about the future of this franchise. We'll have some fun surprises for you along the way, but later this year, we will begin to offer you some details on our ambitious The Last of Us multiplayer game. They're still calling it The Last of Us multiplayer game. They haven't called it factions yet. So maybe it's not going to be called Factions 2 like so many people think it'll be called. With a team led by Vinit Agarwal and Joe Penitentiati and Anthony Newman, heard of him. The project is shaping up to be a fresh new experience from our studio, but one rooted in Naughty Dog's passion for delivering incredible stories, characters, and gameplay. We shared concept art of the project with you last year, and we hope this new piece of concept art below further excites you for what our team is working on. And I did see this earlier on Twitter. Let me see if I can I maybe zoom in a little here. So it's just like a big ship, and this is supposed to be set in San Francisco. So yeah, I mean, I like the concept art. I wish would get a little bit more. Um, but let's keep reading here. And of course, The Last of Us TV adaptation will be premiered on HBO and HBO Max in just a few days, January 15th. Which, by the way, I'm planning to do a TLOU live reaction of each episode every Sunday. I plan to do it. Uh, it's going to be on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in America here. So I plan to be doing reactions to that. But I still got to figure out some things before I can give you more details. But knowing that the television series will be a thrilling moment for old and of course for all of us here at Naughty Dog, we thought this was an excellent time to reflect on the incredible work our developers at Naughty Dog have accomplished. Over the course of the Last of Us show season, we'll have an exciting inside look into the original The Last of Us Part 1 and its adaptation to television with exclusive interviews and behind the scenes looks at the process in order to offer you a deeper appreciation for the work that went into your favorite characters, locations, and moments. It's been an unbelievable 10 years, and to know the journey of our characters has meant so much to so many of you moves our team. Thank you for your support and appreciation for the work our teams do. We hope you'll continue to follow us along this road. Just don't forget to pack a brick or a bottle. Until next time, endure and survive. Neil. So yeah, that's the first time I read that, and pretty cool to at least get some new concept art. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a big year for The Last of Us. I will be curious to see when they finally are ready to reveal this Last of Us multiplayer. I'm very curious to see what this is gonna be. It's gonna be pretty much a Last of Us live service game, but it sounds like it's gonna be almost like this massive multiplayer online game. I guess you could call it an MMO. But yeah, so that's right from Naughty Dog today. That's what came out, and there's all this speculation right now about two things: The Last of Us Part 2 getting a PS5 remaster or PS5 version, which I think is going to happen eventually. I don't know when. And The Last of Us Part 3, which I did a short discussing that a few weeks ago. Someone on Twitter, some movie insider, was saying The Last of Us Part 3 is in production, and this guy was somewhat credible. He had revealed like Crash Bandicoot 4 before it was announced, and some other things, and some things about The Last of Us HBO show. But there's speculation if the next game from Naughty Dog is gonna be The Last of Us Part 3. Before a few weeks ago, I would have said I think their next new game is gonna be a new IP. But I kind of feel like now Naughty Dog is just full Last of Us mode, and I think their next game after the multiplayer game will be Last of Us Part 3, and I think that will be like the conclusion of Ellie's story and maybe Abby's story too. But like some people were speculating, it's like, oh, is Ellie even gonna be in The Last of Us Part 3, or is Abby gonna be in the... I think definitely Ellie is gonna be in the... because I personally feel like this is Ellie's story. So anyway, that's a discussion for another time. But another interesting thing, I guess, is from the Hollywood Reporter. Someone asked Neil Druckmann, or I'll just read it. Naughty Dog co-president Neil Druckmann has hinted at plans for a third entry in the Last of Us series. I think there's more story to tell. And that's all he said. But Last of Us Part 3 is gonna happen. It's just, when is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen at the end of this console generation? Isn't it gonna happen in 10 years from now? I don't think it'll happen in 10 years from now, but I was kind of hoping they were gonna do a new IP first. And don't get me wrong, I love the Last of Us, but I also do love Naughty Dog as a developer, and anything they make, I enjoy. I'm a huge Uncharted fan as well, and I definitely want a Last of Us Part 3. So whenever I get a Last of Us Part 3, I'll be excited and thrilled to play it. But I think I would prefer if they did a new IP first. But if they don't, if they do a new IP later, then fine. I guess I can be patient for the new IP. But anyway, let's. Other than that, there's not really much else to talk about from today. There's just been a lot of like media coverage of the Last of Us HBO show, and I'm getting I don't know if I want to say annoyed, but they're really hyping up this show, and I think the show will be great, and I'm looking forward to it. But I don't know, it's a little bit too much at times. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the Last of Us HBO show. Um, I just they're just really trying hard to market this show, and well, I mean, it's a big budget show. Apparently, HBO gave them a budget of $100 million for the first season, and I guess that's even more than the first any of the first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones, which is crazy. I mean, I hope this show is great, and I hope it's big and turns out to be the next Game of Thrones for HBO. But yeah, I'm just I did not think they would be given a budget that high, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Last of Us HBO show. I think what I was trying to get at with the marketing is I feel like they're showing too much. They're showing a lot of screenshots, a lot of TV promos that I feel like, I mean, obviously they're not going to spoil the story for me because I already know the story, but I'd rather wait for the TV show to see how the adaptation of that story really is. But I'm trying to avoid like the screenshots and TV promos as much as I can. I've actually already seen a few TV promos while watching football, but anyway,